you've been on this channel for at least a few days, for a while, you will know that Abbie is a character that I draw a lot, and she is very close to my heart. She is my oldest OC because she has gone through a lot of different stories and versions. And I realized that I never actually talked about the story really at all, so I wanted to talk about that and answer some questions that I thought of. I don't know. Let's just get started. In the first original story, Abbie was not the first character that I had come up with. In fact, I actually went through those characters in one of my old sketchbook tours, and she was actually one of the last characters that I actually drew. I drew her a lot in one sketchbook, but I have no idea where that sketchbook is. I think I threw it away. Either that or I ripped it apart, but I don't know where it is, and I can't actually show you those, but I have a few of them on Amino, so I actually collected them in this video. But at first, she was this little girl who was always kind of shorter than the other kids, but not entirely shorter. She was the adopted child of a family who had a boy named Ash. Ash is very protective over Abbie throughout the story, and he sort of drags her around because she doesn't want to make friends with all of his friends, but he sort of makes her, and that's their relationship. And the story really kicks off when one of the characters, Lydia, gets possessed. She gets possessed, and she goes crazy, and then they all have to try and save her. And Abbie is the one who ends up saving her, because that's when they find out that they're all the children of gods. I actually made up these gods my own. They are nothing like the Sindonian gods, which I have mentioned a couple times, but they are sort of like the original, but they're a lot different. I don't remember if I ever named the gods, but I know that Abbie was the daughter of the god of life and death, and Ash was the god of the son of the god of fire. And yeah, so I don't know when this happens, but they all end up in a forest. They end up with their parents, and they just live there for a while. And then after that, Abbie gets kidnapped by her uncle, aka the original god of death. This story is very confusing. So with the lore, there used to be the two brothers, which were the god of life and the god of death. And the god of death had bad intentions or whatever, and the god of life decided to kick him out and absorb his powers. And now he's invincible. The other guy's powerless and gone. He wanted to get revenge on his brother, so he kidnapped her and tried to kill him with her. This is so dumb. But in the end, they do retrieve her again, but then he mind controls her again, and then makes her jump off a cliff and kill herself. I really like abusing Abbie or whatever. But but with the power of her father's power and Ash's care and love for her or whatever. I think I meant for those two to get together, but it's just like weird now. Like they were like siblings. But they end up getting back together, back alive, and back to life. They end up bringing back to life, and then all of the gods watch Avatar. I still haven't finished Avatar, and I need to find a way to find it, and I can't. But I'm not gonna talk about Avatar in this video. But anyway, I had like this is so cool. I'm gonna steal the entire idea. This is what I did. But I actually didn't write a story for it. I just sort of drew her in Avatar clothes. And she was like an avatar. And that's really it. And so after that, I was watching a couple of Harry Potter movies, and I'm just like, what if this was real? But they were. What if there were witches and wizards who went to school, but they all were separated by element magic. Basically, I took Harry Potter and turned it into elemental stuff, which is what is with I don't know what's with me and elemental stuff. Elemental stuff, but I do that a lot. So I did that, and that was a story that I actually had for a while, and it's a story that was very, very long, and the plot was very strange, and then I went from that to Harry Potter-esque stuff. Basically, I started Harry Potter again, and I turned Abbie into this depressed, anorexic little child. I know this sounds really sad. And in this one, Layla wasn't actually her real sister. Layla was her adoptive sister. Who's also the child of a guy. The whole plot of that book was that Layla was sick or whatever, and Abbie had to go with Nora and Milo to find a cure, and it was the phoenix feather, and they found it, and then they went back, and then it worked, but then they have big problems, and so, yeah, and that's where the book ended. And then, I actually went towards the second book, and I had gotten pretty far in the second book, but then I was like, hey, I hate this. Throws book out the window. I ended up scrapping the story, and I was done. I thought that this was never going to work out, this character is never going to work out, so I practically threw Abbie away, and that's why there's actually a full sketchbook. I believe there's an actual entire sketchbook where I didn't draw Abbie once. And then I started drawing her again, and that's when I tried to rewrite her story, and at one point I tried to incorporate the Greek gods in it, because I was like, this is just way too a knockoff of Percy Jackson, so I tried to incorporate otherworldly stuff into it, but then that I didn't like, and it was way too complicated, and then I went back to the initial plan of the story. So the setting of the story is the same. Abbie herself is pretty much the same. So and then I realized that it wasn't the story that was the issue. It was Abbie. And so I changed Abbie, and I changed her backstory, and I changed her sister. Abbie is a young girl who lives with her mother and her sister, who are both directly related. So they are both the princesses and daughters of Avina. Layla knows that she's the daughter of a god, but Abbie does not, because Edwina left before she had any memory of him. At a young age, Abbie was visited by Kynora, who cursed her to not be able to use her fire anymore. She attempted using fire the way that her sister could, but it always ended catastrophically. So she ended up just giving it up, but that never went in the way of she acted. She became like her sister. She was a wild spirit. She is nothing like the originals. She liked climbing trees, she liked jumping off, she liked hurting herself, she didn't care if she hurt herself when she was playing, and Layla was very protective of her. Even after they ran away, after they were attacked, you could never see her she used to just play around and wasn't really taking anything very seriously. And Layla never really let her sisters see her without a smile on her face because she knew that it would hurt her. And Abbie didn't know anything about what was going on. So one night they were attacked, and Layla told Abbie to stay, but Abbie is a hot-headed, stubborn little girl, so she just decided to leave. And was like, I'm gonna help my sister or whatever the heck. And she froze. See, the monster, because she didn't know about any of this stuff. So it tried to attack her, and then Layla teleported her straight into the middle of Camp Demigod. Well, not in the middle, because that would be in the lake, but in the middle of the field where they were actually playing a game. So it was actually kind of funny, but not to any of them. It's just kind of awkward, and just like, we stopped playing for this. That was their reaction afterwards. And Abbie goes on this long adventure trying to find out where Layla is held, where Layla is being held, and trying to find out how they're gonna save her, because they don't actually know where she is. But once they do find her, it's basically hopeless. And in the end, I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but it's very sad. Basically, Layla does something that hurts Abbie, but it's for her own good, and it's the only choice that she has. So now it's just, yeah. During the story, they find out that Kainora is planning something, and that's when we are revealed the great prophecy, which would not really reveal anything because we already know about the prophecy, but Abbie is revealed the prophecy. And that's sort of the story and what I'm going on right now, and I'm actually still currently working on the story, the first book, and I don't want to change anything because I have my heart set on this little girl, and I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm getting very emotional. This is embarrassing. I never thought I would cry talking about this little girl, but yeah, she is very much me. I changed her personality completely. She's not this little sad girl who's depressed all the time anymore. She is this brave-hearted, wild-spirited, kind-hearted little girl who will do anything to protect those she loves. And I can't. Okay. I'm gonna answer a little bit of questions that I have here. I tried to ask Amina what they wanted to find out about my character, but apparently, since I haven't been posting it like forever, Amina, all my followers, they're like, she's not doing anything, so I'm not gonna answer her question. Well, yay. Well, I'm doing this anyways. I wrote down my own questions. What is Abbie's biggest fear? Abbie's biggest fear is definitely losing the person that she cares about, like I said earlier. Losing someone that she cares about, which she faces multiple times. would definitely be the person who likes just roasted marshmallows and chocolate. I don't know, that seems to be her. And her birthday is July 27th. And she was born in 2004, which is actually even before me. So Abbie's older than me. That sounds weird. Abbie's older than me. But in the book, she is 12 years old. Her ideal pet would be that one person who would want a lizard. And that hints at something that happens in the book, but I'm not gonna say anything else. But if you know what mythical creature is related to a lizard, you will understand what she will find and befriend. Her biggest flaw is that she is stubborn, hot-headed little girl who's reckless all the time. I just bogged it down to stubborn. And her best trait is her big heart. Because no matter what, if she sees a creature that is hurt, she will feel compelled to help it, which goes back again to the lizard thing. If you ever paid attention to what I'm saying, you'll know what I'm back. But yeah, that's really all that I could think of. And I thought this video would be way longer, or at least short. I thought this video would be shorter, but it's not. But I'm glad that I was able to share this with you. And I'm sorry that I was absent from YouTube for like a very long time, but I will be back. And I'm actually almost done with my sketchbook, so that'll be a video sometime in the near future. But yeah, thank you guys for watching.